You can call me a content whore. You can also call me Nathan Morris. I'm glad that you're here. This is long overdue. We're live tonight. We're live. I appreciate you all very much. Released a new song. It's called Villain. Have you ever been bullied? Do you remember being bullied in school? Maybe you're still bullied. We've all been bullied in some form or fashion. Maybe you were the bully. And I'm not asking you to tell me in the comments if you don't want to. Yeah, don't oust yourself. You know, there's forgiveness. People are people. You make mistakes, being a human and all. Being bullied is something we all experience. To what degree, what level, it's all relative to our lives. You can't say, oh, that was victim. I remember I was a freshman in high school and I went to a new school because I didn't make the basketball team, the freshman basketball team. I'd gone to school with these kids for forever, and I was like, I'm going to go and try out for the other team because my mom worked at the public school. I tried out, I made it. She's like, you do know you have to go there now. And I was like, I'll never forget the first day of school lunch. Walked in this massive cafeteria. I was from this private high school, tiny, really. And all these circular tables just filled with people. And I had my tray and I was starting to walk out. And I'll never forget Caroline and Sarah. They said, you can come and sit with us. I'm so grateful that they left me a seat at their table. They offered me the seat at their table. And maybe you haven't had a seat offered to you. Maybe you experienced a lot of sadness and heaviness and weight from people saying things that are untrue or versions of or something that they shouldn't. Nonetheless, I meet you here, and that's what Villain is about. Last year of my life, you've been following me. I'm grateful for all the followers that have really supported and rallied, not only the last few months or the last year, but just from the beginning. And you know who you are. You haven't a clue what just clicking subscribe, clicking the bell, sharing the song, you don't realize what that act does for an independent artist such as myself. But the song Villain, my friend Kayla Diamond and I wrote a month and a half, 2 months ago. It's happened really quick because we were doing a writing session. Writing sessions are super intimate. She says, what do you want to write about, Nathan? I was like, I'm in this place where I just seen people being, asshats on social media. It's just people are sad, so they do what, a 7-year-old does when they want attention. They act out, and then you pat them on the head, and then they go about their business. But in this instance, I'd just seen a hateful comment, and I wasn't bothered by it. And so I've done a lot of self-work, and I encourage you to. You always need to check your own pulse. I'm a super big proponent and advocate for mental health awareness. And so we wrote this song because of all these things that have happened in my life. And maybe you have had people say untruths about you. You've been bullied. Maybe you've bullied. It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter what people say about you, think of you. It doesn't matter anymore if you've if you write, how do I say that? If you right your wrongs, if you were the bully, in other words. I'm not saying it doesn't matter anymore, your actions. Of course, you need to acknowledge those, but it doesn't matter. Start anew. Don't let that affect you. Don't give it any power. And that's what Villain is. It's literally a big middle finger to all the people that have wronged you, who have said things about you, of you. It doesn't matter. The way that you see yourself should not in any way be affected, be altered because of some other individual who's sad. And I don't know why you get to the point on this mountain, this climb. I don't know where it is. I've talked about it in other videos. Maybe perhaps you follow me on all the socials, Nathan Morris Music on TikTok, Nathan Morris Music on Facebook, Nathan Morris Music on YouTube, Nathan Morris on Insta. Okay, yeah, just follow me. And I appreciate you following me. And maybe you've heard me tell you this, but like when you're climbing up that mountain, you have people on the base and they're clapping, they're cheering you on, they're even helping push your butt up. But I don't know where it is where they stop and then they're like, oh, and they want you to roll down the hill and die. Or not die, maybe, but they want you to get hurt and then run after you and be the savior and say, oh, we'll take care of you, we'll help you, we'll nurse you back to health. It's very, very weird. People are sad because they're not doing what they should be doing, meaning There's a thing inside of you, the burning thing. And that's what you're put here to do. The thing that you love more than anything to do. Maybe it's knit, maybe it's write, maybe it's draw, maybe it's sing, maybe it's mow grass. The thing. If you're not doing that thing, you're doing the world a disservice. And if you're not doing that thing, I could understand how it can make you sad, frustrated to see other people just really going for it. I'm not anyone special that chose to continue to show up and do music. I've always loved creating. It's in me. It's a part of me. I have to. If I don't feel alive. And I know that if I'm not doing that, then I know that I'm doing the world a disservice. My point is you too would be doing the world a disservice. And the people that aren't doing that, they're mad about it, which I understand. And so they're frustrated at other people that are doing it. So I'm challenging you. If you're mad and frustrated, then you need to do something about it, or zip it. Just encourage people. Be kind, be inclusive, be supportive, have some perspective. Put your feet in other people's shoes before you go flinging judgments and putting stickers on people and labeling something. Yeah, and if you're like, who the hell is this guy that went on this rant? Nathan, musician, mortician, spent 13 years in the funeral profession. My songs were inspired by my work, still are, and you know, going viral and all. Posted a video today talking about how I was inspired by Gary Vee. He literally was like, just freaking post. And I'm like, oh, who would like a musician, mortician? Well, apparently a lot of people. And so you all came in droves and came in droves and came in droves. And this new single is doing really well. There's a lot of really cool things that are happening. I'm really excited for that. I mean, I want you to meet me everywhere. You know, for instance, the Triers, it's an exclusive community of individuals. We're creating and building something together, because after the art and music, what do we have if we don't have connection and relationships? And that's what we're building. So first looks, first listens, first watches. Mondays is music. Wednesdays is video, all exclusive. Fridays, exclusive giveaways just for Triers. I'm going to link it, click it, check it out. Would love for you to become a part of this ever-growing community from the UK to the States, all across the world. We have incredible members and would love for you to be a part of that. New merch is available too. We gave 93 vinyls away to support the new single. You all have been supportive of Villain, and I want so bad this to be a cool transactional thing, right? Because relationships are. It's like, you give me support, I give you love, I give you salt and pepper, you give me, right? I don't like one-sided though. I'm like, hey, thank you for supporting me. I wanted to say, hey, you know, here's a vinyl. These are all going out. This is something I really believe in. This is $40 in the shop, which I'll link below too. We have all kinds of really cool new merch. But I was saying on a previous live, hey, go to the shop, get you something, anything, and I'll send you a vinyl. Limited edition, autographed, 90 something. Let's see, how many orders was it? I have it right here. 90 something. What a dodo bird. Hold on, I'm trying. Go. 95. 95 orders in 30 days. So in the last just 2 weeks, to say thank you for streaming Villain. Wherever it is you stream, wherever you listen to music, you can stream Villain. Please share it with someone. Please consider following me on that musical platform, streaming service, thingamabobber. It helps. You don't realize it. And I know I'm rambling, but this is my real estate and I can do what I want. This is available too in the store. Nice little mug, huh? Coffee. It's delicious. We're getting back to the roots of it all. The roots of it all. Before we do, please check something out in the shop, like my new Villain shirt. It's amazing. I love it. And we'll talk about that some other time. As far as it's amazing how Photoshop mugshots make people really think that. Anyway, we won't go there, but we will go to some haunted funeral homes. This is where the OG of the YouTube started. You all love ghost stories, paranormal stories, and I talked about it in a recent podcast. I have a podcast too. All that is going to be linked below. We have VIP tickets available for upcoming shows in July, on July 4th, Independence Day in the United States of America. I'll be in Laurinburg, North Carolina for Liberty Fest on, I'm thinking, August 3rd, I will be in Pensacola, Florida. August 10th, I'll be in Orange Beach. September 1st, Memphis, Tennessee. September 7th, Ennis, Texas. All of those dates are available for VIP tickets in the notes here. Check it all out. Would love for you to support. We're going to go ghost hunting now. These are stories that I've been, and again, are they corroborated? I mean, they're written down, so they must be true. I just know that people love ghost stories, anything paranormal, because we are obsessed with the unknown and figuring things out. And when we don't have an answer to something, we tend to fill in the blanks and gaps, right? And I'm not saying that paranormal experiences aren't real. I believe that people have these experiences. It's just my thing. Everyone has a thing. I love crime documentaries. I love crime podcasts. I love my podcast, You'll Die Trying. You should check it out. We're going to talk about some ghost stories. These are stories. I'm just reading the story. Take it for what you will. Do some deep dives yourself. Here we go. There's a funeral home in North Carolina. I won't say the funeral home name, but it's nestled in the heart of this sleepy town. It has a long history of eerie happenings. It's amazing how quick we went from like talking about something serious and then promoting all the stuff and thanks for supporting and then goblins. So this family founded the funeral home in the early 1900s. They were known for their meticulous care of the deceased. That's good. However, strange occurrences began after the sudden and mysterious death of the eldest son, first name Thomas. Visitors have reported seeing, this is still a operating facility, Thomas's ghost wandering the halls, his presence often accompanied by a chilling drop in temperature, pretty common to hear about, and the family themselves have heard whispers and footsteps when no one else was around. One night, the maintenance individual, I suppose, claimed to have seen Thomas standing at the foot of a casket of another loved one, because whenever you close up for the night visitation, the loved one in their casket, they stay in the chapel, of course, only to vanish moments later. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that it's possible? Have you heard of this story? Let me know in the comments. We're talking spooky stuff. And also, if you buy something in the shop while we're live here, I'll extend it. These I need 14 and I have a few more set aside. So if you buy something in the shop, let me know and I'll be sure to send that out. I'm not going to do it much longer, but thank you very much for your consideration. Let me know that you've done so, when you do so, if you do so, yo so. I almost said the name of the funeral home. In Georgia. This is in Georgia, which is normally not where you would have this kind of stuff, unless I'm just only used to New Orleans. Okay, there was a grand Victorian mansion that was owned by this family. The home was converted into a funeral home in 1920s. Legend has it that the spirit of Abigail, who died tragically young, never left the house. I guess it's just a family member, Abigail. Abigail's room, now used as one of the viewing rooms, is often filled with the scent of her favorite roses, despite no flowers being present. I'm assuming when there aren't flowers, because obviously visitation, there'd be flowers. Some claim to have seen her playing with the grand piano in the funeral home, her delicate figure illuminated by candlelight. Now could you imagine? You're just walking in, it's like, hello, who are you here to see today? And you're like, not that ghostly child. It'd be really scary. Which, by the way, when you go to a funeral home, have an idea of the name of the loved one that you're going to see. Don't walk in and be stumped when they say, who are you here? And you're like, I don't know. It happens. The current owners of this funeral home, they have grown accustomed to Abigail's presence, seeing her as a guardian to their business. That's lovely. That's like a glass half full family right there. What would you do if not Abigail per se, but Abigail was just chilling, hanging out by your grand piano, and you're like, hey guys, just hello. Let me know in the comments. Have you experienced seeing something like this? Funeral home in Texas. The funeral home in Texas, I want to say the names, but they're going to write me on TikTok at Nathan Morris Music and be like, don't say our name. They've been the site of numerous ghostly sightings. Originally a plantation home owned by the wealthy family, it was turned into the funeral home in the 1930s. The spirits of former slaves are said to haunt the grounds, their sorrowful cries heard during quiet nights. That would be awful to hear. One particularly chilling tale involves a young girl who was buried alive in a tragic accident. Oh my gosh. Her ghost is said to roam the cemetery. I guess it's a cemetery combo? They do have those, by the way. So that does even narrow it down more. Like, funeral homes will be on site of a cemetery. Searching for her family, staff members have reported feeling a small hand tugging at their suits and hearing faint cries for help. Oh, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Do you live in Texas? Are you from Texas? Do you go to Texas? Have you been to Texas? What do you think of this? The old in Massachusetts. Why do I keep almost saying it? The funeral home in Massachusetts is renowned for its haunted reputation. Once the residence of this family, it became the funeral home in the late 1800s, so that makes sense, yeah. The most famous ghost is that of Martha, who was murdered by her husband. My gosh. Martha's ghost is said to be seen in the old dining room where the murder actually took place. Visitors at the funeral home, I don't know if that's where that is now, often report an overwhelming sense of dread and the faint sound of a woman sobbing. That's just what you need. You're at a place you don't want to be at in the first place. You're grieving. It's not a fun place to be. And then all of a sudden you have this sense of doom and gloom. That sucks. The family's tragic story adds a poignant layer to the funeral home's history, I would say so. And if the funeral home is said to be haunted and people around the county, community area know, I wonder if that helps business. People would maybe initially go to, oh, that's not helpful to the business, but I would digress. I think it would help. Do you know people get married in funeral homes? Mm-hmm. Let me know in the comments below. Do you have an experience? Like, what I wasn't asking, and then I started really going into the rabbit hole in my brain. Do you have an experience at a funeral home? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below. All right, we're going to Louisiana. Here we go. It's probably somewhere in New Orleans, somewhere close. The family's funeral home here stands as a testament to the region's haunted past. It's very, very well known to be a haunted area in New Orleans. It's just riddled with stories of, originally a plantation house. It was owned by this family who suffered numerous tragedies. The spirit of Mary, who died of a broken heart, is said to haunt the premises. That's a possible thing. I'm not a doctor, but I do know that grief-stricken people, we had a loved one die, and then 48 hours later, their spouse died. 48 hours. Mary's ghost is often seen in the chapel praying for the souls of the deceased. Well, that's lovely, actually. The sound of an organ playing softly in the distance has been reported, even when the organ is not in use. Mary's presence is said to bring a sense of peace as if she's watching over the departed. That's lovely. You know what? Bring all the Mary ghosts to me. Not, Lord. Don't do that. But if I am to have an experience, I would much rather it be Mary than doom and gloom. I just noticed. Wait. Oh, it's Martha. Mary, Martha, Mary, Martha. Okay, here's another funeral home in Ohio. The funeral home in Ohio has a very dark history. It was the home of this family. It was converted into the funeral home in the early 1900s. The most infamous ghost is that of Jonathan, who was wrongly accused of a crime, and he was hanged. Do you know the last public hanging was done in Owensboro, Kentucky, in the United States? My hometown. And guess what? I'm related to the woman who oversaw the hanging. A lot of history there. I'll have to tell you that story some other time. Very true. Jonathan's spirit is said to wander the funeral home seeking justice. His ghost is often seen in the basement. There's a lot of basements in funeral homes, where his I don't think this is right or true. Why would his trial have taken place in the basement? Staff members of the funeral home have reported cold spots and the feeling of being watched. Jonathan's story haunts the town continuously, a reminder of the injustices of the past. I'm going to Google that one more often. More often? What? Words? Huh? Let me know in the comments below. Do you speak English too? Also, get something in the shop. You can check it out. I would love it. I'd be honored. I'll send one of these vinyls autographed, and I'll make you a drawing. I'll draw you a drawing. I would love to. That's not a drawing. Those are just words. But I will draw you a picture. Everybody has, except a few people, which I'm fixing that, have gotten a drawing. So when I was packaging all these, I'd gotten through a few, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to personalize them. So I started to draw them, and then there were people that came into some of the recent TikTok lives, and they were like, you didn't send one to me. And I'm like, damn it, but I will. All right, now we're going to Pennsylvania. Here we go. The funeral home in Pennsylvania was once a Quaker meeting house. Converted into a funeral home in the late 1800s, it has a history of paranormal activity. The most famous ghost is that of Rebecca, a young Quaker girl who died of scarlet fever. You remember that game Oregon Trail? I would have gotten dysentery. I know it. Rebecca's ghost is often seen in the attic, playing with her favorite doll. Visitors have reported hearing her giggles and seeing her ghostly figure in a white dress. The current owners believe Rebecca's spirit is harmless, adding a touch of innocence to the home's eerie atmosphere. And I'll pause right now. This is a public service announcement to say that my single Villain is available now on all streaming platforms. I would love for you to listen to it. I would love for you to follow me, and be sure to follow, subscribe, click the bell to be notified, get some merch, get this for free, do that, go over here, do the dance, and everyone turn yourself around. Boom. Impressive, right? Virginia. Me, Virginia. Virginia has a haunting past, apparently, so this funeral home does. Once the home of the mate, it was turned into a funeral home in the early 1900s. The most famous ghost is that of Lydia, who died tragically in a fire. That's terrible. Lydia's spirit is said to haunt the old nursery where the fire started. Why would the fire have started in the nursery? That's sad. Visitors often report the smell of smoke and the sound of a child, I just got a chill, crying. Lydia's ghost is seen as a warning, reminding people of the fire that claimed her life. Like, I really did just get a chill, and my head's tingling. I don't know why. I have no idea. I'm just kidding. I think I am. Alabama. Funeral home in Alabama was once the grand estate of this family, converted into the funeral home in the early 1900s. A lot of the early 1900s. It has a history of ghostly sightings. The most famous ghost is that of Sarah. Sarah, storms are brewing in your eyes. Sorry. She died under mysterious circumstances. Sarah's spirit is often seen in the garden, where she spent her final moments. Visitors report feeling a chill and seeing her ghostly figure among the flowers. Sarah's story remains a mystery, which adds to the funeral home's eerie reputation. So the funeral home has an eerie reputation, or just the ghostly stories are eerie? That's not good if they have an eerie reputation. Blame it on the ghost for your crappy service. I'm just kidding. Or maybe I'm not. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like Alabama? Roll Tide, or not. This funeral home in Tennessee. It was once a stately manor owned by this family, converted into the funeral home in, 1920s, 1900s. It has a reputation for being haunted. The most famous ghost is that of a young girl who died in a tragic accident. Emily is her name. Her spirit is often seen in the library, where she spent much of her time. Visitors report the sound of pages turning and seeing her ghostly figure reading a book. Emily's presence is said to bring a sense of calm, as if she's still enjoying her favorite pastime. She's probably reading the Bernstein Bears. These stories of haunted funeral homes capture the eerie yet satisfying and fascinating history of these places. Each home has its own unique tale, adding to the rich tapestry, or tapestry, some people would say, but tapestry, of paranormal lore in the United States of America. Those are 10 funeral homes across the United States that have some spookiness. This is what I know. I know that in life, if I invite you to be my +1 to a Super Bowl party, and we go into here in this space, Within 10 seconds of you walking in that door, you will have a sense of comfort or uncomfortableness, discomfort, meaning you can sense pretty quickly if it's a heaviness, if people feel like they're jerks, if people feel inclusive. It's an energy thing. It's what we have in life. And I know good people attract people. And I know that in death, if you were in life punching people in the head all the time, that's just very generically saying, because I don't want to sound as if I'm judgmental. It's not my place, thank God. Then in death, where does that go? Meaning this sense of energy. I know that people experience holy deaths. I've gone and received loved ones who look so beautifully peaceful and holy. Like it looks almost spiritual. They look so comfortable. They look at peace, because the dying process, I know, I've never seen someone die, which is wild, but I've been told by many a family where they labored. It seemed as if it was agonal breathing, or what our worldly brains call struggle, right? But whether that's the case or not, those who experience what I was referring to as almost the holy death, it seems just as if it's just this most peaceful thing. And there's a sense of comfort around those bodies. And there's been times where I've gone into a visitation room to be shutting off lights or blowing out candles, where I feel this sense of heaviness in the room. And perhaps that individual in life was not a kind person. I don't know. But I felt a sense of heaviness only a few times. Let me know. What are your thoughts in the comments? I think it would be awesome to hear what you think. And I think it's great to have these conversations. Some people say, oh, anything ghostly, is that of demonic? And I don't know. I do think that spirits can be that of something that is not safe or holy. Absolutely. But I'm not sure. That's a question that I'll ask one day. Should I enter into my eternal reward, which I hope. And that's what all of our goals should be, is to live a life of meaning and kindness and inclusion. Do the thing that you love to do, by the way. I'm going to tell you now, if you're not loving your job or your situation or circumstance, one of the best pieces of advice, I forget who said it. I wish I could. I'll remember it after this. But they said, trust your gut, figure out the details later. Meaning, if you're not happy in this moment and you want so badly to be a figure skating coach, but you don't know how it's going to pay the bills, figure those details out later. Obviously, you don't just want to be like, I quit, and you're living outside of your means and you can't afford it. Yeah, there's a lot of variables, but in the grand scheme of things, figure out the details later. I think taking the leap and doing what you love, you will find your love tank filled, and people will be filled by you doing what you love. Yeah. There's a lot of joy in it too. Creating content doesn't feel like work to me, in the sense of the doom and gloom and dread of, I love creating. I love stepping outside of myself and saying, okay, I believe in this, so I'm going to share this. I'm going to tell these 10 ghost stories around funeral homes. I'm going to talk about the merch that I'm really proud of, that I would love for you to get. I want to give you a vinyl that I wanted a vinyl so bad. I'll never forget it. This is the original record that came out in '07. It's a record called A Gentleman's Closure. That's when my music career really started to really take off, right before all social media. And I would go and play sorority houses, because where there are girls, there are, boys. So I would play a couple of songs and then invite them to a show, and they came. I funded this record pretty much with every penny I made working at Starbucks. Starbucks put my song Closure on their playlists, and that was really what helped catapult it. Nonetheless, in 2022, I had it remastered by Nathan Danzler. Nathan Danzler remastered this. Nathan Walters originally produced it along with Brent Lane. And it was very intentional. We did 500 limited press of this. We have under 200 left. I gave away 90 something last 2 weeks, because of you all supporting the merch and supporting the new song, Villain. I would be honored if you would grab something in the merch store anything, I will send you a vinyl for free, and also another surprise. But anyway, become a trier. There's just tons of opportunities for us to connect. Is all really. There's a lot of opportunities. I know there's a lot of calls to action here, and it sounds like just pick your lane. Do what you feel led to do. I just want you to know that this is a back and forth. Yeah, I appreciate you. We haven't done this in a while. It's nice. I'm gonna read back on the comments because I probably missed some, but I will respond in regards to all the questions I asked. Which do you like Texas? Come to a show, get a VIP ticket. I would love to meet you. I meet you here. You're honored. You're appreciated. You're valued. That's all for this live. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Goodbye. We I forget how that song goes. It's mine too. We say goodbye too soon. That's it. You were the one, and she was in love. No other one in a dream come true. Deep in the night, it's almost just right. You wipe the tears from her eyes. Last time